Do you guys remember like back in the 80s and 90s with the Magic 8 ball? It was kind of this 8 ball and you'd shake it up and it would float to the top and it would tell you what the future was. Well, guess what? Let's call this video the Magic 8 ball of real estate. We're going to identify what we said a year ago was going to happen in the real estate market compared to what we are experiencing today. So join me for this for the Magic 8 ball of real estate. All right, so about a year ago, I posted a video about the shrinking buyer pool and kind of gave predictions over the last year or for the next year of what was going on. Now, in one of those videos, or in the first part of that video, I talked about buyers not being as active in the market and that buyer demand was going to go down. So let's take a look at what I said. Fine, this is a graphic from Showing Time. This is a reflection of buyers not being as active in the market as today as they were at the beginning or at the beginning of 2021. All right, fantastic. So as you can see, I talked about the buyer pool shrinking and buyer demand being a little bit less desirable in the market. So let's see what is going on right now. If we take a look at the most active or most recent Showing Time report, we can see that showings have been down 17% since September of 2021, and we can see that the Showing Time National Showing Time Index is down to 145 from, it was actually at a peak of about 285 maybe about 6 months ago or so. So I think this is a great indication that we're seeing buyer demand softening, exactly what I predicted would happen about a year ago. So in this video that I posted about a year ago, talking about the shrinking buyer pool, we talked about interest rates increasing and affordability to buyers being reduced. Let's see exactly what we talked about. What I want you guys to know is as interest rates increase, some buyers are no longer going to be able to afford a home. Others will have to cut back on their budget that they had, when the rates were lower. They're not going to be able to afford as much as the rates continue to increase. As you can see from this graphic, rates are projected to sneak up and will likely do so throughout 2022. All right, so as you can see, last year I was talking about interest rates going up, which is going to cause buyer affordability to go down and cause a softening in the buyer market. Let's see exactly what is going on today. As you guys can see, interest rates have just continued to go up all throughout 2022. And from where we were at a low at 3.22% back in January, today interest rates are closer to that 7% mark. And what this also means, just so you're aware, is buyer affordability is down. And as you can see, the buyer affordability, the higher this affordability number is, the more affordable a house is. The lower that it is, it means the less affordable that is. And right now, you guys can see from a year ago, buyer affordability was pretty good, but you can see from a month ago or such, it's gone down quite a bit. So not only did interest rates go up, buyer affordability went down, just like we predicted it would happen about 12 months ago. So as we were talking last year in the shrinking buyer pool, we also talked about how I kind of felt like we had settled out of the seller's market, the extreme inventory shortages and such like that, and that inventory would begin to increase. Let's take a look at what we said just about 12 months ago. This graphic represents that I think it looks like we bottomed out at the seller's market and we're beginning to see the pendulum swing back in the way to moving towards a buyer's market. So we called it, said that inventory was kind of going to start upticking and such like that, starting to bring us out of a seller's market, moving us back towards a more neutral or potentially buyer's market. So let's take a look at exactly what has happened with inventory levels over the last 12 months or so. And as you can see, the dark blue line is the 2021 inventory levels when I was producing this video. The light blue line is today where we're at on inventory levels. And you can see that that inventory has spiked up quite a bit compared to what it did last year.
which is exactly what we thought was going to happen. So when we were doing this video a year ago about the shrinking buyer pool, we talked about the likelihood of a foreclosure crisis happening in the near future. Let's take a look at what we said.
There's most likely not going to be a foreclosure crisis on the horizon. Significant equity positions for most homeowners. Fewer mortgages are in trouble than what they projected.
What we said was that we were not expecting any sort of foreclosure crisis going on. So that brings us to what we're doing today. And I want to share with you, what does it look like on the sale of distressed properties? Well, in a normal market, and this graph goes all the way back to 2012 during the foreclosure crisis, but in a normal market, 4% of the inventory that we sell is a distressed property. And you can see as we've moved through 2022, that percentage is less than 1% of all the home sales are some type of foreclosure properties, which means we are not likely going to be seeing a foreclosure process or a crisis in the near future here. So a year ago, when I was doing a video about the shrinking buyer pool, one of the comments that I made was that sellers who did not sell last year or in a few months, that they were going to have to become more realistic about their pricing and be ready to negotiate with with buyers if they were going to get their houses sold, and that they also might have to make some concessions. Let's take a look at what I talked about last year.
Dropping affordability is causing buyer traffic to slow down. This is going to cause homes to stay on the market a little bit longer, and the seller who waits for this to happen will need to be more willing to negotiate with buyers in order to get offers accepted.
And so as you can see, last year we called that sellers were going to spend a little longer on the market. They were going to have to negotiate. What is going on this year? Well, let me pop it up for you. This is actually the last 30 days of sales in Gallup, New Mexico. And what I want to let you guys know is that not only did the marketing time go up on these properties by about 2 weeks, the average marketing time right up here, I also want to let you know that 75% of the homes that sold did not sell at list price, and the average price reduction that they had was 8%. So exactly what we talked about last year was that the homes are going to spend a little longer on the market and sellers are going to have to negotiate. And that's exactly what we've seen over the last 30 days. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on all of these segments of this video, because, I did 5 little separate videos off of what we did a year ago, what we were predicting, and exactly what's going on today. If you want to know what's going to be going on in the future, I want you to set up your personal strategy session. We're going to include a link on these posts and such like that, but give us a call, Coldwell Banker High Desert Realty, 505-863-4363. This is Jason Valentine. Call me on my cell, 575-496-1068. Come by and visit us at the office, send us an email, flag us down as we're driving down the road. Let's set up a strategy session so you know what's going on in the future and you can take advantage of it and set your family up to be just as successful as you can be for the next 10 years of real estate, whatever they want to do. Give us a call, 505-863-4363 or 575-496-1068. If this video didn't show you that I actually know what I'm talking about, well, I love that we did the video again. We did the video last year, and today, here it is. Here's exactly what's happening. Talk to you later.